Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Fan of Fridays, where we proceed to check out all the fanfics that are not pun related. Why? Because right now, I'm feeling a little bit evil. I'm just kidding. But, no, it has been a while since we checked up on our old pal Lex Luthor. Let's see what's going on in his little side of the multiverse. Besides, I just beat Kingdom Hearts 3 and I'm suffering from withdrawal. I need something to keep me going. Me dear. Need that for some help. It does. Thanks, Trix. So, without further ado, let's Luthor Triumphant. Enjoy. Let's Luthor Triumphant by Guapo Mendez, Chapter 2. I know what happened to the man tomorrow. Les Luthor was not a man to leave things to chance. That day when his men collected Lois's body, he thought he saw a tear in the Kryptonian's eye. He ordered new brain scans and reviewed them personally. They showed no change. Physical blocks in the brain were still there. He was satisfied, but still kept an eye on him. He witnessed a few more scanning sessions and felt something amiss. He ordered more scans, but they showed no change. The feeling of uneasiness lessened, but still lingered. It had been a few weeks since the tear incident, and Luthor was in an early meeting. As we can increase the profit margin by 7%. Was it a trick of the light? We should be able to pull it off. We have the capital to take over. Was it a tear? Regarding Wayne Enterprises, we're just waiting for the... Did I miss something? We're going to have to deal with Wayne eventually. Are the scanners wrong? Harrelson said, buzz this young man, but it lacked common sense. Luthor decided it was time to end the meeting. Go ahead. I want Wayne Enterprises in my hand by the end of the week. And Wayne, that ineffective flop, Luthor countered. He could come after me whenever he wants. I could beat him at any boardroom. Gentlemen, is that all? There are a few more things on the agenda, but his tone did not invite them to press him to stay. Nothing, Mr. Luthor. We can handle it. See that you do. Lex stood up and left the boardroom. He took his personal communicator from his suit pocket and dialed the laboratory. Marcus had picked it up after 2 rings. Yes, Mr. Luthor. Tell me about today's brain scans. You're normal, Mr. Luthor. The higher functioning dam is still blocking the equivalent of infothermal cortex in the temporal and middle temporal lobe, keeping them apart. Do you have the brain scans in your hand? No, Mr. Luthor, I do not dare to conjure from thin air whatever figures you might remember. Lex heard Markson sit up and heard the papers and ledgers hit the floor as he frantically opened and closed the doors. I'm sorry, Mr. Luthor. I'll get right on it. Let's see. Here they are. Yes, I can see the block. There's a bit of brain tissue trying to encapsulate. Nothing to worry about. Same as always. Did you run the scans? No, sir. Pratt did. Luthor's voice turned icy. Pratt. He all but spat the name. Protocol requires you run the scans. You. I should know that, because I wrote the damn protocol. A beat. Have you been running the scans? Sir, When was the last time you did a scan? Markson gulped. 3 weeks ago? You idiot. Red Sun to Kryptonian and run a scan right now. Sir, we have a full skin test tomorrow and he's still heating. I know that, you imbecile. Right now he's gained 45% solar power, which means he's very powerful and healing at a faster rate. We only have him at that power level because he's supposed to be incapacitated. But we don't know that, do we? Right now, his brain could be overcoming the blocks. Luthor finally reached his office and walked to his private elevator. Right now, Superman could be knitting his brain together. Do you really want there to be a pissed off, brain damaged Superman wakes up? Marcus's voice dropped a few octaves. Right away, Mr. Luthor. Red Sun him now. I am on my way. He entered the call and pressed the button on his intercom. Hold my calls, Pearl. I'll be overlooking a merger proposal. Yes, sir. The doors closed as the elevator went down. After a few moments he felt a tremor. The building is designed to withstand earthquakes and hurricanes combined. My building does not shake. His communicator beeped an alarm code. Shit. He pressed his palm against the wall, and palm print was scanned, popping a panel open. From it, he extracted a gun through it, checking the sights and power source. A reassuring red beam flashed from the confined space. A fat lot of good this will do. This is scenario 1. The trip from the office to the laboratory took no more than 40 seconds. He refused security masters. If he was still trapped on the gurney in the carving room, he would drop 200 yards down to the Red Sun maze, where security detail would be on hand with tasers and Red Sun guns to neutralize him behind lead-lined, reinforced concrete walls. Performers refused, claiming it could contain a 20% Superman in 90 seconds and 30% in 600. Anything over 40 and all bets were off. The building shook again, this time harder. If he was still in the carving room. Lex felt an adrenaline kicked in as he buttoned up his coat and assumed a firing stance. The elevator doors opened, and an acrid smoke wafted in. Alarms blared, and an emergency light flickered on and off. The corridor was empty, and the massive door had holes in odd angles that belched smoke and bled incandescent tears. Luthor recognized it for what they were: heat-fisted blasts. The keyboard was still working, and his coat swung the door open. The smoke reduced visibility to almost zero. Grabbed one of the breathing masks from the fire station and moved on. The smoke grew thicker as he entered the viewing room and saw why. Scorch marks glowing dimmer and dimmer crisscrossed the walls and ceiling. There were seeps on the floor as he crossed to have a closer look. They were the bodies of Markinson, Rivers, and Pratt, the room's morning shift. Markinson's head had been sheared off by the heat beam. The wound instantly cauterized. Rivers and Pratt had been sliced from left to right. You killed them. This is priceless. One more thing I made you do. The safety glass was shattered, and parts either melted outright or completely gone. The monitors were dark, and the computer sparked, useless. The data was lost. He was sure. He had to go to yesterday's backups. He walked to the carving room, saw the gurney had retreated to the bottom floor, leaving a round hole. Next to it was a piece of restraints. The air had bended on the ceiling. Next to more scorch marks. The sound of his own breathing visibility reversed soon, and an 8-fit had him on the knees. But his hand holding the Red Sun gun remained steady. 3 burly security guards were on the floor. Their clothes were smoking, but the beams did not reach his skin, thanks to their lifeguard vests. He grinned. Watch by your own skin, alien. The guards were alive, but unconscious. One of the guard's face looked like it had been pounded with a steel ball, with knuckles. Awful sounds came from the hole. Where Lex could see the lip had 4 drag marks that clawed like metal like it was nothing. He took a peek down the well. It was supposed to be lined with red sun lamps. A significant number of them were broken in a vertical pattern. Looks like he grabbed hold of one side and broke the lamps as he went down. He needed to walk through a 50 feet long corridor, all twisted and built at odd angles. He entered the elevator that went down to the maze. On the way, he saw one of the female technicians huddled in the corner, arm around her legs and forehead on her knees. He tapped at her shoulder, all but jumped at his touch and gazed at her with redolent arms and eyes. He. Lex saw her right arm. It was horribly mangled, and her voice a hoarse whisper. Go to the medical bay. I'll deal with him. He moved on. The elevator took him down to the maze. The Red Sun maze was an extensive measure, designed to work with, and only if, a massive set of errors and oversights allowed the Kryptonian time to recover. All the security measures, all the scans, system checks, physical inspections were set to keep them ahead of the healing curve. If that failed, Maze's purpose was entirely to weaken him enough for recapture. Well, there might be the chance I underestimated how fast his healing could get. He arched his eyebrows. Don't kid yourself, Lex. That was a major miscalculation. Fed by bad data. Heads will roll. Red light filtered in after the doors opened. As in one of the utility corridors deep within the 30,000 square foot underground complex he hoped he would never need. I was grateful he didn't spare the expense. He shot to the control room. Feeling another tremor, walked the corridor, as some plastic dust fell from the ceiling. The control room security door opened, and he entered the only place in the maze where the color was allowed. Every inch of the room was covered by the monitors, showing every nook and cranny of the maze. In front of them was the operator, speaking softly into the microphone, receiving a panicking transmission, working over cries of pain and anguish. Team 7, take a right, then a left, fire from walkway 9. Team 6, do you copy? Team 1, status. What's the situation? For God's sake, Steven, shut up and watch the sick bay. Stay out the channel unless you got his eyes on him, he sighed. Not good, but improving. He tore through our nets and powered his way through several choke points. Severely damaged one of the support columns and banked the secondary garrison good. Teams 1, 2, and 5 are disabled. 3 scattered and 4 hooked up with 7 and 8. 6 is MIA. He could be destroying their radios. Look down. Sir, if he thought if he ever landed here, he'd be lukewarm at best. But he's red hot. The operator was an expert hunter, a military man with battlefield experience. He ran containment scenarios over and over again until his team could perform them in his sleep. That many teams in disarray meant serious trouble. What are his readings? He came down close to 60%. What? He wasn't supposed to be at an iota of 49% ever. Just tell me what I got, boss. I knew our systems couldn't handle 60% soup. Not without Green K. He pressed a few buttons and said, Boogie incoming. T8 eager for Crisco. The launcher showed the guards tossing several grenades around a blind corner and huddled up. The grenades exploded. The entire corridor was coated in a faceless substance. The guards fired their stun weapons at the substance, and they carried a paralyzing discharge through the corridor until it hit Superman. The red sunlight kept glowing, slowly draining him of his powers. Reality screen showed he was at 31% and dropping. I turned the red juice to 11 when he hit the deck. I took out one hell of a chunk of his reserves, trying to flight up, but the vertigo field messed with his ear and he hungered. Not angry, smashed to the floor and fell to deck 2, where he disabled Team 1. He pinballed him to deck 3, but he bent the restraints and tore loose. We're taking him to the womb. The one on the 3rd level. Luthor saw the display whittled down to 28%. They're on the wrong side of the complex. Send enough damage to the corridor to have a few charges will drop him within swiping distance of the 4th level womb. Hold on, sir. Because if he drops under 20%, follow around. Well, the swipe will put the hurt on. Teams 8 and 9. Charges ready? Yes, sir! Lock harpoons and weights. Fire! Around the sides of the corridor where Superman lay, flailing and tensing under the tasers. Horizontal panels dropped, and the guards fired the harpoons. The tips were stunted and had a large vial with sarin on impact, covering Superman with an adhesive substance. Harpoons had ropes attached, and the glue helped him get purchase on the glistening skin of the Kryptonian. He moaned in pain and screamed in anger at the cameras. Oh, Thor! One of the monitors flickered and went dark. Another person would have felt a chill going down their spine, but not Lex. He grinned at the foolish Kryptonian, using his heat vision to deny him a camera. Please, sir, that cost him 2% of his overall juice. Switching their angle, they saw the guards strike Superman to the end of the corridor. Team 10, ready for containment. Swiper will engage at 15. Team 7, on my mark, detonate the charges. Team 8 and 9, ready to drag them to the hot zone. Drag. Good. 3, 2, 1, mark. The screen flashed red, and the Kryptonian went down the hole. Displayed red 21%. That was close, sir. Engaging the swiper. In round monitors corresponding to the 4th level, he saw Superman fall hard to the ground, along broken pieces of concrete and rebar. He coughed and tried to stand. He shakily rose to his knees when the swipe, massive concrete wall, pushed him into the womb. And a long, scientific, purposeful name, boys and security dumped at the womb. It's a round chamber, nearly 60 feet across, only filled with gelatinous substance that hindered movement. It had every inch covered in red sun lamps. The door was heavily closed and bolted shut. 11 balls in the pocket, boys. Lock and load first on the 4th level. We're in the home stretch. The display read 18%, then 17% as they saw Superman struggle on the substance. Like wet sand, it moved when he moved and filled the space around him. And I am purchase our leverage. 16%, 12%, 9, 5, switching glass to low level, draining womb. Cap team, stand down. Med team, stand by for recovery. 1%, sir. We have him. Opening access door. Luthor smiled as he saw him strap Superman to the gurney and wheel him out. This doesn't go for a minute, sir. But this actually helped me spot the flaws in our scenarios. I'll have the boys write new drills first thing tomorrow morning. There'll be a bonus for all your men, Wilson. Carry on. The following weeks and Lex's spin doctors working overtime. Families of the deceased had to be compensated. Millions in hush money had to trade hands to a suitable story for the media had to be concocted. A disgruntled employee had sabotaged the emergency generators, breaking the blow. Fortunately, the man had died in his attempt, and Lex vowed never to let another senseless tragedy like that happen again. also confirmed the cause of the escape attempt. Pratt had taken upon himself to save Lex Luthor a few $1,000s by doing only one of the 7 scans required, falsifying the notes of the reports. Maybe he was lazy, or maybe he was in league with Kryptonian supporters. Dressing caught up to the fact that he disappeared, and ran editorial after editorial on how he was missing, nearly like newborns. In case it didn't matter why he did it, Lex pinned the blame on him, and the media ate it up. His new science team delved into Kryptonian's brain once again. Results were not encouraging. His brain simply recovered faster than a lobotomy could keep him under. Soon, there would be no physical way to keep him under. Tyler, new head of science division, said a very interesting report in that regard. He says in keeping his brain busy. The approach showed that his storage capacity was in zettabyte territory. He's talking about using him as well as Lex's massive servers. He could have no personality if he was running billions upon billions of operations per picosecond. Lex needed his forehead laid back in his chair. Something clicked in his mind. Pearl, get a hold of my science teams on the phone. Tell them to pack today for very cold weather. He beamed. I finally cracked the safety measures of the Fortress of Solitude. One more. For the man who had nothing. From inside the climate control headquarters of Site 1, let's gaze at the fortress. The tower above them, majestic and serene. The camp had been set up 6 months ago, a few weeks after they had captured him. Having the man sink was one thing, but plundering his retreat, discovering the secrets, the technology he had in there, Lex couldn't wait to get his hands on all of it. It proved to be a quite formidable opponent. The first thing Lex did was try the silly yellow key in the lock. A special crane was made, with a rotating mechanism to hold and turn the key in the required direction, and it failed. It's a minor setback, he thought, and he had not the inconsiderable resources of Lescar at his disposal. People were called, research facilities were built, and all sorts of methods were tried. Locks held. No amount of force or finesse could open them. He tried to dig through the walls or under the fortress. Each time he failed. The fortress looked like it was made from ice. But at some point it turned to a material so dense that no force on Earth, and he had access to all of them, could scratch them. Not even his most powerful scanners could see through them. Even his special drills had found no purchase in the material. At its peak, Site 1 was inhabited by over 75 people, and had state-of-the-art technology facilities. Over time he had to concede defeat, and pull his resources back to LexCorp, with a skeleton crew to keep things running, arranged to have things turned to top efficiency at a moment's notice, in case he got a breakthrough. That time was now. He wasn't leaving until he opened the fortress. Dr. Tyler, are we ready? They're fitting Captain Holden with the creep suit, sir. We won't know until everything is in place. They're waiting for the headpiece and contacts. Creep suit. Luthor chuckled. It's an anachronism for the suit, starting with the Kryptonian emulation something something. A creep suit, Lex, that's fine. It'll work. Lex said as he picked up the oddly shaped metallic case and walked to the control room. Individual pieces held up so far, and the flight principles like use the golden argosy airborne. Well, sir, I'm not sure how they'll behave in such salt. We'll see. They walked to the prep room, where several scientists were busy fitting sensors and wires to a man wearing a skin-colored bodysuit. It had hundreds of wires over it, bouncing out like veins. Over that suit, there were fastening pieces of what looked like they would be pieces of whitest leather armor. Captain Holden, how are you holding up? Just fine, sir. The undersuit's hugging me in all the wrong places. A few of the technicians laughed. Don't worry. When we pull this off, you won't have to wear it again. Thank you, sir. Lex placed the metallic case on one of the work tables and opened it. Holden, do you know why we chose you for this? No, sir. You have the right measurements. As you are, your body type and figure is almost like the Kryptonians. You're almost as tall, as broad, and almost as heavy he is. A 95% match. All we need is to tweak you a little bit. Cover you in patches with his DNA and bio patterns, and we're done. Basically, we're trying to trick an overzealous tornado to open. Census took more pieces from the workbench and placed them onto Captain Holden. He'd been delicately worked on, each of them a remarkable piece. Fastening with spots held him securely to Holden's body. Key points, they were fitted with fiber optic sensors. Those were connected to hidden there wires to hook to a portable control panel. They assembled them, starting Holden's feet and worked their way up. You see, I tried it before. Have someone wear the suit and float to a prearranged spot to see if it passes muster and open the door. I tried lookalikes, latex masks, and holographic projectors. Nothing worked. He paused. A few days ago, I realized he would have keyed the sensors to his biosignature, and I can have a suit to test this theory. Let's took out a pair of long-sleeve gloves and gave it to Holden. I had to leave the Department of Defense on hold for a few days to assemble this. If Holden was squeamish about the gloves, he made no comment. Put them on and help us fasten them to the torso piece. We'll send it past the shoulder, before the elbow. Adjust the pieces. You should be completely insulated from the weather. You'll have level 9 vulnerability, and with a sunburst, you'll even manage to hover up to the ID spot. He went to the work table and grabbed the last piece from the case. Luthor turned around, holding gulped. He was holding his hands at replica of Superman's face. From the soldiers to the trademark spit curl. Don't worry, the eyes. You'll have his contacts. The helpers fastened to the headpiece. Just like the others, Holden was completely covered. Each part hugged the control panel. How are you feeling, Holden? Fine, sir. The smell's a bit ugh. Right now the suit's there, but it's not functional, and it's wrinkled like a cheap suit. Once we plug in it, the suit will assert itself and you may experience some discomfort. It's important you soldier on until the tests are done. I won't disappoint you, sir. Let's went to the technician holding control panel. He's ready. We're powering up the suit, Holden, starting at 5%. Console hollowness and fell at yellow energy to fiber optic cables, running some painstaking detail to emulate the Kryptonian circuitry system. How are you feeling? No change, sir. 10%. The hump didn't increase tempo, but the pieces started to react. A few pieces of cracked slowly. Anything? Nope. 20%. Oh, I felt something move, sir. The torso's tightening a bit. Good. Bring up to 50%, Tyler. Yes, sir. The tempo increased, and the pieces seemed to gather better shape. Lex remembered when he was a kid, and he could not afford anything. Like around to department stores to see how they wrapped gifts. Well, one time a sales lady put an object, a silver photo frame, over a velvet board and covered it with white piece of wrinkled plastic. The lady used a hairdryer to smooth the plastic to perfection. This is something like that. Now I'm feeling them come together, sir. Legs are a bit tight. Ow, arms getting pinched. Make it 100%. The dials went to the top of the green markings. As pure sunlight streamed through the wires and energized the skin. Contour and shape seemed to sharpen and focus, as every piece clung to Holden's body. Pieces overlapped in some places. Once they touched each other, he seemed to remember where it was and where it should be. Sir! Holden's face was strained. It hurts, sir. Ow, my back. My legs. Can't move my neck. Then no voice came out, only a strained groan. Holden, relax. Remember your breathing exercises. Luthor said as followed his final spite. Diaphragmal, not thoracic. A few seconds passed as bones increased in intensity and heart rate increased. His wrist is shattered. Ribs are completely bruised. Airline fractures to the pelvis. Femur won't hold on much longer. You're doing fine, Holden. You're earning your bonus. To Tyler, the creep suit is complete. Give him the painkillers. Their button was pushed, and a few cc's of analgesic were administered to hold his bloodstream. His vitals slowly stabilized and moaning subsided. Bring in the tights. From another container, one of the techs took the red-blue uniform, and others carefully worked to put it on. All the wires needed to be fed in sunlight to the skin, converged to the neck, so they all fit the uniform from the feet up and not the side or disturb the wire network. Fortunately, the material could stretch to 200 to 300%. It was original length and didn't lose its shape. The cape was fastened to the shoulders with Velcro. Lex had forgotten how bright it was. Finally, they glued a small, button-sized speaker to his bottom lip. Open the eyes and release the jaw and lips. The sensors beneath the eyelid twitched, and beneath them, Holden's eyelids blinked rapidly. Just about it. Time to put in the contact lenses. There we are. Now speak if you're ready. Good to go, sir. The voice came out strained. Let's wear a bit purple. Maybe for earlier, because now the face mask allowed just a tiny bit of wiggle room. Carefully, let's put the contact lenses in. Just to work with retinal scanners. Look everywhere. Look at everything around the door. Gaze at the keyhole. Anything will help. Holden blinked a few times as it tested the lenses. We're done, Holden. Just relax and let the voice box do all the talking. Let's contemplated him, approval and a bit of loathing. Perfect. He fastened his weather gear. Let's go. It took him more than an hour to take Holden from Site 1 to the threshold of the fortress. Tyler checked Holden's vitals periodically, making sure he wasn't too strained by the suit. Towers had been built against the fortress, and a freight elevator raised them up to the landing. The door dwarfed them, imposing. Start when you're ready, Tyler. The doctor activated the console's secondary functions. Holden stood unassisted for a few seconds and then drifted upwards. Lex knew it would work. After all, that was the principle that held the golden argosy in the air. The cape fluttered regalely as Holden gained altitude. Lex knew the Kryptonian wasn't really there, but the cape brought back too many bad memories. Holden was 20 feet from the keyhole when the console started beeping. That's an invisible beam, sir. Completely non-harmful. Scanner engaged. Cue the voice. Then I pressed the nerve button. The voice was heard by the toy speaker above them. I'm Superman. I love you, Lois. Please stop. Damn you, Luthor. My name is Clark Kent. Batman will get you. But it was good. Why are you doing this? I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. A completely visible green beam scanned Holden from top to bottom. A few seconds later, the keyhole rotated on its own. It worked! Noiselessly, the massive door slid open. Holy shit, it worked! Tyler enthused. The helpers all but clapped for joy. Luthor merely nodded. The light Arctic air wheezed past him as the fortress finally granted him entrance. His lights flight cleared on. Next to Lex, 2 dozen commandos wearing state-of-the-art LexCorp gear stood at attention. Take Holden down and tend to him. He spoke to the earpiece. Engineers, make sure only we can open and close that door. Site team, stand by while we do the security sweep. They entered the fortress carefully, passed via satellite to Metropolis, transmitted audio and video to Wilson, and he had direct communication with Lex. What do you see, Slade? Now that the door is open, the sensors are working just fine. Over Lex's soldiers, several airborne probes flew in, each one directed to the fortress. If there are any traps, so let us know. I'm beginning to suspect there are none. I'm certain the sap never thought we'd bypass its defenses. He chuckled. Probably booby trapped the keyhole, though. Tell the engineers to be careful. The insides of the fortress looked like they were carved out of the ice. The legs bent down and felt the ground. It was cool to the touch. In fact, the place's temperature was getting warmer. Under his weather gear, Legs started to sweat. Took off his jacket and handed it over, continued to walk through the hallway. To the left, a rather heavy-looking ice door was ajar. Lois' living room. Legs read. Despite the door's thickness, it was rather easy to pull open. Apparently, he knew what hinges were for. The squad chuckled. Inside, he found a mannequin of Lois Lane wearing a red dress and almost complete pearl necklace. On the wall was a picture of them flying through the air, Lois in his arms. To Superman with love, Lois. Must be from the time when she didn't know. He dictated a note in his L-pad. Low priority room. He continued, reaching the next room. Inside was a sports car, a few spare parts around it. Next to it, Jimmy Olsen mannequin. The car wasn't painted yet, and Lex could see thousands of fingerprints on the wheel. Probably not completely work-worthy. Take the car to R&D, low priority room. The corridor ended in a rather sheer drop to a massive hall. Lex could not take in everything at once. A gigantic statue of a man and woman holding a world aloft. A Tyrannosaurus Rex, metallic portals, displays that were too far away to identify, along with cases, platforms, crystalline formations, and not one goddamn set of stairs. Lex spoke into his earpiece, bringing the scaffoldings. Hours later, Lex walked through the ground floor of the fortress while his people assembled hydraulic scissor elevators in order to access the higher and winches of the metal baskets to get into the lower ones. Wilson's flying trap detectors were already all clear, having no traps or guardians. The security people put the red sun floor lamps all over the hall, just in case something Kryptonian power was there. Wilson chuckled when he told Luthor there were Superman mannequins on one of the higher floors. The top floor had a strange contraption. Wilson couldn't take hands or tails of it. I saw the place was full of weapons, armors, and devices confiscated by the Kryptonian. Around the hall, he had rooms furnished and dedicated to Clark Kent. The Kents, Perry White and the Planet Crew, Batman and Robin, a crime computer he built for him. The transatlantic hanging from the roof could not be anything else but the Titanic. The Kryptonian had the gall to steal the Titanic. I'll let Robert Ballard know, after my people are done with it. This is very sad, Tyler. What is it, Mr. Luthor? All this. Let's point to displays. The tawdry bric-a-brac, collected by an alien that desperately wanted to be human. This is the kind of stuff an old man would think a kid would love to own. Super secret fortress, stuffed to the gills with an unbelievably amazing loot. Picked up a gun, labeled Sarsarian Death Ray. This is nothing but a gigantic monument to his ego and overinflated victories. For instance, what powers is the ray? What type of energy it uses? Does it only affect living things too? What about inorganic materials? Can it evaporate rock, metals, wood, or its uses for construction and demolition? He just hoarded them in his playhouse because he looked cool when he came to relax. Tyler arched an eyebrow, just for a second, but Lex caught him. I know what you're thinking, Tyler. You're thinking I'm one to talk. This metropolis has a skyscraper in the shape of an L, and every other project is named Lex this or L that. Let me tell you something. That building is full of people working, producing, making deals around the world that affect millions. After all the technology I use. Even it makes me seem like rich. Well, I won't argue with that. But even my armors and death rays are out there, in doses the public can handle. Named after me, but they are there. He returned to the ray on its display. He saw a chair, bolted in front of a device, thick shell sheets of metal, with strange layers carved into them. Some looked like they were made by intense heat, others by relentless pressure. Let's look down for a while, seemingly in a trance. 118 letters. Several sounds just like the ones in our language. K is E as in meat. Squiggly line is I as in bit. Minutes passed as he snapped out his reverie and went to the device's control. Button reset the sheets to page number 1 and Light started reading. Before long, he was laughing his head off. My word, it's his diary, where he put down his innermost thoughts. The most powerful creature in the world, and he wrote like an emotional teenager, dealing with unrequited love, dashed hopes and dreams and fears. He dictated a note on his pad. Write Crypto English Dictionary and contact the literary division. See if they can turn this pap into something that can sell. Flish cracked his earpiece, and it told him stairs were ready. Lex walked. Sir, upper levels are accessible now. I'm on my way. A scissor elevator was next to an unfinished painting of an LA landscape. Call the art department. See sci-fi uses. He activated the hydraulic lift. He reached the spot where 8 Supermen stood side by side. Now to the closest one, sounded metallic. Robots, eh? Lex's scientific curiosity got the better of him. Duplicates for emergencies or companionship. Note. Recheck the lowest mannequin. High priority. Reverse engineer. He got back to the elevator to reach the last level. Sir? One of the lower levels has a kryptonite vault. Lex stopped the elevator. Go on. Kryptonite vault, sir. The name's carved on the door. All sorts of colors here. Red, green, blue, white, gold, black, and pink. Even one looks like the Hope Diamond. Close the vault. Have the hazmat team go over it, and once we have the okay, get everyone on it. High priority room. Very well, sir. On the top of the fortress were 2 items. One labeled fan zone rejector, the other was a large sound screen. Labeled fan zone monitor. Let's get close to examine it. A few seats are close to view. Lex Luthor, destroyer of Kal-El, son of Jor-El. We've been waiting for you. Lex smiled. They even looked like him.
Ending it for right there now. Let me just say, I love this part of just showing how much Lex has actually put effort into this in his planning. We also get a little bit of insight of just how Lex views Superman's little awards and museum. I'll probably have more when I finish this.